Whenever you think of what it takes to move the masses, if you don't call early, then there's kind of a point of no return to where you can't get help. And that's exactly kind of what happened during Hurricane Harvey. We all know it as the Cajun Navy. You know, if it had not been, regardless of what some people think, if it had not been for people volunteering to show up in their boats to help people from little alcove neighborhoods, those people may not have been able to get help. Not that we, the fire department or the police department, sheriff's department, Coast Guard, there's a plethora of people there to provide assistance. But if we didn't know that they needed assistance, you only know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. You only know what you know, not what you don't know. And I learned in Atascocita back in '94 that, okay, I think I only need 2. Make it 4. If I don't need the other 2, I'll turn them around and we'll send them somewhere else. But if you call for 2 and you need 4 at some point, it's not going to matter. And I think that we, the people of Houston, have dealt with this enough to know that there is that point of no return. When people say, well, they have to help me. No, they may not be able to help. We have a forward staging area, which for the Texas coast is just outside of Houston at Tully Stadium, which is Dairy Ashford and I-10. Mm-hmm. We've used it for drills for several years. We know exactly what it'll hold. We even have maps, that were printed up from drills before that, show an overview, and we know exactly the footage and whatnot, the amenities that are inside the building. So it works for us, and it's in a strategically good place. It's right on I-10. It's really close to Beltway 8, I-10 to 610, I-10 to Med Center, whatever. And so we start staging things there. And there's 1,000 people coming here right now. So, everyone kind of takes a gulp. It's like, all right, well, we have to make it work. So we start making phone calls and people start showing up and we're trying to get them processed. And, oh, by the way, this bus company shows up and he's like, I've got 250
coaches.
Yeah, like a coach bus. I have 250 coach buses en route. Where are we going to park? Okay, thank God we had Tully Stadium and we know what goes where. So you know what? So you see, we bring them inside the command vehicle. You see this parking lot here? That'll hold 200 buses. Make 250 fit in there. I don't care. Stack them on top of each other if you have to. But this is where our buses are going to go. And then 18-wheelers start showing up. Hey, I'm with the Missouri Task Force. Okay, I'm with Utah Task Force. They've been en route for 2 days and they just diverted them straight here. Just go to Tully Stadium because they got a big parking lot. Well, that big parking lot's starting to get very small. Some DPS trooper comes like literally screeching up in his car and he's like, we have to evacuate. We have to evacuate the station area now. Barker Reservoir is fixing to flood and we're going to be flooded in here. And so we were going to be reassigned, and I may have this wrong. I want to say it's like the Merrill Sports Complex or something in Katy, right off of the road. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like Pin Oak or Fry or something like that. And we're just gonna, it's very easy. We're just gonna pick up and move over, except all the stuff that they've delivered to us now won't fit in our support trailers. So we fit everything we can in our support trailers. I happen to have a city pickup and I'm pulling one of the trailers. So I put everything in the back of my truck, everything in the cab of my truck, and the first 5 ambulances that were there, we put things in the back of their ambulances. Because this is an emergency. I mean, there's going to be death in the next, now 4 minutes if we don't get out of here. Now we're at Bucky's. Bucky's is having their grand opening tomorrow. So somebody, with permission, got into Bucky's and found out who the manager was and found out that he lived in Katy. And they called him and he says, well, sure, you're welcome to go inside, but I can't come up there because it's flooded and there's no way you can get to me. And they're like, are you at home? He's like, yes, but I'm telling you, you're not going to get to my house. stand by. I think there's somebody in front of your house now. Well, we had sent a National Guard high water vehicle to his front door and carried him out to the truck, put him in the truck, and drove him back up to Bucky's and said, all right, so we broke into your store and we want to make it right. And what can we do? So he actually called people that could get into work, and they came in. But to tell you the essence of responders, they put 2 police officers at the front door. We were only using the restroom. And once the determination was made that we could, in fact, get things, because there was power at the store, they were using a cell phone calculator and a piece of paper, and everyone was paying more for what they got, figuring with what the tax was. I didn't revisit this, but we ended up talking to the manager from Bucky's, and he said that they actually made money from the time that we went in to the time that they opened back up, because we made sure that we didn't shortchange them on anything. On the 5th night, I got relief, and they said, tomorrow you're going to be reassigned to Unified Command, and we need you to go back. At the time, it was they call it the warehouse. SETRAC has a warehouse. They said, go back to the warehouse, find a cot, get 12 hours sleep. And you think you're so tired, you're doing this the whole time, you know. You're like, oh, I can't wait to lay down. I'm going to sleep like the dead. Until you lay down, and then you start thinking about, did I give my phone number to so-and-so? Well, what if my wife calls on my phone and no one answers? Well, you know that crew that we sent to Lufkin, did they ever check back in? And so for 12 hours, I laid there like this,
Working through it.
wondering why I'm such an idiot and I can't fall asleep. Well, it's funny because 12 hours later, I wake up. I did doze off a few times, but I mean, it was 5-10 minutes.